Whoa, crypto fam, I've got to be honest. I did not expect to wake up to Cardano in the headlines like this, but here we are, and this might be the catalyst ADA holders have been waiting years for. What's going on, Goldrush family? Welcome back to another episode of Goldrush Crypto Daily, where we read the hottest crypto news live on screen, break it down, and react together in real time. Today, we've got two massive stories about Cardano, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for both. The first article is all about Grayscale staking all of its ADA in the Cardano ETF. Yes, you heard that right. An institution staking ADA through an ETF. That's unprecedented. The second article dives into the charts, macroeconomics, and analysts predicting a 30% upside toward $3 in 2025. This is Cardano we're talking about, the coin that everyone either loves to death or calls a ghost chain. But the data right now, it's screaming something big is coming. Before we dive in, quick reminder, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell. That way you'll be first in line when ADA or any crypto makes headlines. Let's start with this piece from the Market Periodical. The headline reads, Cardano News Grayscale ETF to stake ADA as price eyes $2 breakout. Just the headline alone, I've got chills. Let's dig in. Cardano ADA is gearing up for a potential price breakout as market sentiment shifts. Grayscale has decided to stake all its ADA holdings in their Cardano ETF. Okay, let's pause. Staking all ADA holdings, that's not a small move. For context, Grayscale is one of the largest institutional players in crypto. Their ETFs bring in Wall Street money, retirement accounts, traditional investors. If they're staking ADA, that legitimizes ADA's staking economy in a way retail investors alone never could. Grayscale has been ahead of other institutions in diversifying its crypto portfolio. Exactly. Remember when they first offered the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? People thought it was crazy. Then they added Ethereum. Now they're broadening into ADA. This shows a bigger trend. Institutions no longer see ADA as a risky side project, but as a core asset worth holding. The price of ADA is still trading below $1, positioned at number 10 by market cap. This is the kicker. They're staking while ADA is under $1. That's accumulation at discount levels. Think about it. They're locking coins at the lows. They're betting ADA has way more upside than downside. Grayscale plans to stake all ADA held in its Cardano ETF GATA pending SEC approval. Here's the fine print, SEC approval. And we know how the SEC loves to drag its feet, but here's why I think this has legs. The SEC already approved Solana's staking ETF not too long ago. If Sol can get that, ADA has a real chance. The strategy is shifting beyond ETH and SOL, with staking demand growing among institutions. This feels like deja vu. Remember 2020-2021? ETH staking demand went vertical after institutions piled in. If ADA is next in line, we could be looking at a similar setup. Institutions love yield. They're starved for it. Staking offers predictable returns on top of price appreciation. That's an attractive combo. ADA's weekly chart shows a huge symmetrical triangle formed since late 2024, signaling breakout potential toward $2, possibly $3. Okay, let me break this down simply. A symmetrical triangle is when price keeps squeezing tighter, lower highs, higher lows. Eventually, the pressure builds up until price explodes one way or the other. The fact analysts see a breakout target of $2, $3 means this isn't random. It's a technical setup with real potential. Long-term holders from 2021 or earlier are still accumulating. Open interest has exploded above $2.5 billion, highest since 2021. This is what I love to see. Long-term holders, people who bought in the last bull market, aren't dumping. They're buying more. And that $2.5 billion in futures OI? That's a ton of leverage. It tells me traders are positioning for a big move. The last time we saw leverage like this on ADA, back in 2021, right before it rocketed to over $3. So here's my takeaway. Grayscale staking ADA is a massive bullish signal. Combine that with technical patterns pointing to $2, $3, plus strong long-term holder conviction, and ADA might be on the verge of its biggest move in years. But let's not stop here, because Article 2 brings another layer, macro and chart analysis that could push ADA even higher. Now let's switch over to this piece from Coin Edition. Headline, ADA holds strong support. Analysts predict 30% upside toward $3 in 2025. This was published basically the same time as Article 1. So we're getting two perspectives on ADA in real time. Let's break it down. Altcoins have been stuck in ranges, but smaller caps are starting to move. ADA could benefit, especially with upcoming Fed decisions. This is the macro angle. If the Fed cuts rates, money flows back into risk-on assets, stocks, crypto, altcoins. ADA being in the top 10 but still cheap makes it a prime beneficiary. Macro tailwinds plus ETF demand, that's the perfect storm. Over the past year, ADA rose more than 150%, outpacing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Wait, let's pause on that. ADA outperformed BTC, ETH, and SOL in the last year. That's insane, and almost nobody's talking about it. People keep clowning ADA as a ghost chain, but clearly smart money has been loading up. Analyst Michael Van de Poppe notes ADA holding above the 20-week moving average on both BTC and USDT pairs. All right, in plain English, the 20-week moving average is like a trend health check. Staying above it means momentum is with the bulls. ADA holding above on both charts, that's a rare sign of strength across pairs. Momentum is shifting and traders notice. On ADA BTC, key resistance sits at 0.00001536 BTC, a significant move higher if tested. So that's roughly double from current ADA BTC levels. If ADA gains that strength against Bitcoin, it means capital is rotating into ADA specifically, not just rising with the tide. That's exactly the kind of signal you want to see before an alt season. On ADA-USDT, Cardano ranges between 74 cents and $1.24. Analysts call this the first wave upward before potential new ETHs in 2025-2026. This is where it gets juicy. If we're only in wave 1, that means the big waves, the ones that bring 3x, 5x, maybe 10x gains, are still ahead. Think about Ethereum's wave structure back in 2020. ADA could be following that playbook. So this article gives us the macro plus TA perspective. ADA is outperforming majors, holding strong support, and building momentum above critical moving averages. Analysts see $3 as just the start, with potential for new all-time highs by 2025 or 2026. In other words, Article 2 is basically confirming what Article 1 was hinting at. ADA isn't just alive, it's coiling for something big. All right, let's put this puzzle together. Article 1, institutional play, Grayscale staking ADA, ETF demand, technical breakout patterns, long-term holder conviction. Article 2, macro and TA play, Fed rate cuts, ADA outperforming majors, moving average signals, new ETH potential. Here's what I think. Both perspectives are valid, and together they paint a much stronger picture. If Article 1 is right, ADA's supply gets locked by institutions, staking rewards compound, and scarcity drives price. If Article 2 is right, macro liquidity plus technical strength push ADA toward $3 and beyond. But if both are right, we're talking about ADA flipping from a so-called ghost chain into one of the most profitable large-cap plays of this cycle. Personally, I'm bullish. I'm watching that $2 breakout level like a hawk. If ADA clears it with volume, the road to $3 plus looks wide open. All right, crypto fam, let's wrap this up. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think ADA finally breaks $2 this year, or are we in for more accumulation before liftoff? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll pin the best takes. I'll be watching for Grayscale's SEC approval and the Fed's next decision. Those will be the catalysts to watch. And remember, this is just my opinion based on these articles and my analysis. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. The crypto market is crazy volatile, but that's what makes it exciting. If you found value in today's video, smash that like button, subscribe to join the Goldrush family, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next big update. Until next time, stay bullish, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next video.